Well, we are out drilling a well today, and it is freezing cold. Hopefully, I'm inside of a dog fence right now. Hopefully the dogs are locked up inside. I wanted to share this with you because I have been to this job. I think this is like my 5th time here. And if you are a dedicated watcher of this channel, you will remember this job. So we had originally been called here because we put a liner in this well right here, and the well originally was only, I believe, 73 or 79 foot deep. I can't really remember. And we tried to line it because the metal pipe in the ground had started to leak and let in red water. Well, I believe the well was probably punched 4-inch down below, so we could only get our packer to go down to where the bottom of the original casing was. It actually helped the situation for about 2 months, and then something happened and it started to come back, and his well pump died. So I came back, I think, a 3rd time, and I put him in a used well pump. I only charged him like $300 because at that point he had already invested money in this well. So try to do the right thing, not charge, you know, an arm and a leg to swap out a pump. So he can't live with the red water. And we had, you know, the pump's only in there at like 70 foot or something like that. There's not much room back here. And so it's been about 6 to 8 months since we did that video. And we are here now. We're drilling a well out in the front yard for the house. And I just wanted to show you, look at the color of that dirt. That stuff is nasty. It has been so thick all day long. Now, take a look at this. We've got 60 foot of pipe out. Currently, we are at 67 foot and we have not encountered rock yet. So we can't set casing yet because we have only been in nothing but red mud. You move over here, which is about 90 feet away, and this well is only 79 foot. So it's almost as if this well being drilled back in probably, I'm gonna say 1956 to 1960, whatever the age of the house is, that was done with an old punch machine where it chunk, chunk, chunk. You know, it's totally possible that the composition of the rock from up here to right here is different, but not by much, because we're only talking about 3 foot of elevation and about 80 to 90 foot. So I just wanted to share this with you because I've made 2 other videos here, and I want to see what's the difference between what we do here in the new well versus what the old well was. Once we're all said and done, we'll hook that well up to the house, and I'll try to hook up a small bladder tank to this well because it's got a used well pump in it. I'm not going to pull this out and put it in the brand new hole. I'm going to put him in a brand new pump in the brand new well, and then maybe I'll put a small little tank out here and then a spigot to where he can use the, even if the water's red, you can still use it to water the lawn. So you save that for your other system, and you even have a backup if things go bad. But it's like 36 degrees out here. It's really, really, really windy. I don't know, it's just, it's like, woo! So I'm not gonna film too much of the drilling process. I just wanted to share the start and the back history of this house, and I'll explain to you a little bit as the day goes on. The deeper we go, the more I learn, the more I'll share with you. Because I know the guy that we're drilling for is gonna wanna know all the information about his well, and he will watch the video. So, once we get a little bit deeper and we set casing, I'll talk to you in the truck where it's a little bit quieter. It's time for us to install casing. Anytime we set deeper than 60 foot, we put a piece of 7-foot metal on the bottom. This helps to prevent any PVC casing from cracking, and it also helps seal it better down the hole in case the competence of the rock just isn't there. Well, we were extremely lucky, and we got all of the casing in the hole on the first try. Only thing we got to do is push that, I don't know, 5 foot there. You got to get that to go to the bottom. But in these cold temperatures, you have to allow the glue enough time to set up, because the PVC glue and the PVC primer, they have a chemical reaction to the pipe which melts the pipe together. So you have to allow a couple minutes for that exchange to happen. Because it's so cold out here, if you were to rush, pull up on it, you'll pull that glue joint off. Or you risk the glue joints that are down in the hole coming off and your casing falling off. So you got to take your time in the winter time. Everything about drilling in the winter, you move slow. But what we're going to do, we're going to go in with the check valve and the drill rod, because we've got mud inside the pipe right now. We're going to blow out the mud. We've got about 40 foot of mud down at the bottom that's inside the pipe. We want to blow it clean before we stick our drill bit and our hammer down in there. Well, it has been about an hour and a half since the last image that you just saw. It kicked our butt. It kicked our butt. But yeah, check my hair out. I got a little Ace Ventura going on. But yeah, so we set 113, 114 foot of casing, and we had, I don't know, 80 foot of this nasty, heavy mud. When we went to blow in with the check valve, very similar to the last well from hell, we ended up having a rock, not a multitude of rocks, but a big rock, but it was quartz. So because it was quartz, real sharp edges, it liked to bind up between the casing and the drill rod all the way up. So as I was rotating, it kept wanting to spin the casing with it, and we could get the casing to go down, but then when we tried to pull the drill rod back up out the hole, that rock would grab it and bring it up with it, and then the casing seal would go away. So finally, after just, I don't know, we did it for about 20 minutes, and we just said to hell with it, let's rip it out. And I let Dad do that, because if we're gonna break the casing, I would rather him break the casing. That way it was, we both tried our best effort, rather than me just going blunt force, you know, and breaking it. So luckily, we didn't break it. So we got it out. I worked on it for about 20 minutes. Dad, he was sitting in the truck, he was eating lunch, and his feet were cold. So then we rotated. I came to sit in the truck, and I was in the truck for maybe about 5 or 6 minutes. My feet had just started to get warm, and then I watched it happen. It started blowing clean, and he got the drill rod out. So we had to get, you know, I basically had to stop what I was doing, go pull out, put the hammer on, because we had to take the check valve off. So right now, he is sending the hammer down, and I'm sitting in the truck warming my feet up because my toes are freezing. Sitting on the back of the drilling rig as an operator is cool, but the one thing that you don't move is your feet, because you're sitting there stationary all the time, just, you know, working control. So your upper body stays warm, but your feet, like my big toe and all my little toes, oh boy, they were hurting. So that's what Dad was like, go sit in the truck till I get it to blow clean. So that's what I did. So now I'm about to fill out paperwork. I'm about to finally eat my lunch. It is 10 minutes till 2, and I'm just about now to eat lunch. So we are still at 114-ish foot, and we're about to start drilling the borehole. So it's taken us about an additional 2 hours to set casing on this job, which is kind of amazing because the other well is only 79 foot. And we've set 113, 114 foot of casing here, which is kind of mind-blowing. But it just goes to show you the technology that they had back in the 50s and the 60s versus the technology that we have today, how vastly different it is. You know, back then, any water was acceptable. Now, everybody wants crystal clear, perfect, beautiful water, and they don't care, you know, if they have to put a $5,000 filtration system on it to get it. 70 years ago, you were just thankful to have water, period, on your property. That's just the difference. So, all right, I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna start eating and drink some water. You know, the problem with the wintertime is you don't exhaust a lot of heat, so you don't think to hydrate. And then you get muscle cramps and you get fatigued. Drinking water in the winter is just as important as drinking water in the summertime. You just don't think about it in the wintertime. So I have to make a note to not put water in the cooler so I can drink like room temperature water. All right, enough of me talking. I'll catch y'all back up after we cut a couple rods and we'll see where we're at. All right, well, the time is 5 minutes after 3, and we are a deeper weed. Roughly, we're 150 foot right now. Ever since about 130, we encountered a large volume of water, and we found it in quartz. So we're probably making 30 gallons a minute, somewhere between 20 and 30. The water is really, really clean and really clear, which is excellent, absolutely excellent. So I'm just going to finish drilling at 165 foot. We'll call it a day. Then we got a whole bunch of grout that we have to pump. We haven't been able to fill the borehole up since we put in like 117 foot of casing. The casing actually went down, so we had to glue on another piece to push it down a little bit further. That was just how broken and fractured the rock was down there. It's still pretty cold. Where it comes to get a little warm. It's crazy. Alright, once we get to the bottom, we're going to pull out. Then we'll grab it. I'll talk to you once we lay the rig all over. Alright, well, we got the rig all taken apart, all laid down. We moved it forward. So what we're doing now is basically pumping grout into the void around the casing. There was a lot of mud here. Whole lot of mud. Washed it all the way into the backyard. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of grout we got to pump. I think we'll probably got 80 foot of open void there. So we'll be here for the next 45 minutes. Probably got to pump, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 batches. But a lot to do. Well, we've pumped 4 batches of grout so far. We're working on number 5 right now. And I've got Dad getting a garden hose out of the back of my truck. And we're gonna hook it up to the spigot on the house and wash this off. Yeah, I'm sure she would appreciate us at least cleaning off the sidewalk. I don't know why people don't take more pride in what they do. Take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to clean stuff up. I don't like leaving stuff dirty. We got plenty of time to grout, so might as well. Mike, if you want, we can get a shovel. We'll just pull some of this back. I know it ain't doing much, but it'll help. I mean, hell, we took the liberty of putting up silt fence, but the problem was when we hit that large abundance of water and it came rushing out of the well, it was following this path fine until we hit 30 gallons a minute, and then it flooded everything and it pushed it real hard and it washed underneath it. Up until that point, we had been really good about keeping it clean. Hey, that looks real nice. Cool. Now you can see the brick again. They can get into their house without having to worry about bringing in too much stuff. Cool. Took all of 5 minutes. Yeah, I know it's still a nightmare out there, but that's just part of drilling. All right, well, we've been pumping grout for almost an hour. We've only got 1 bag left. We bring 9 with us. And so we pumped 1 full bag of cement mixed with 8 bags of bentonite. So it's 9 bags total. And I thought it was gonna take, man, it's went down since then. Ain't that sucky? I had it within about 2 foot of the surface. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's not far from the top. It's probably still settling, but that's a good thing. It's getting closer to the surface. Okay. We're gonna run out soon anyways. We'll probably run out of water in the truck. Yeah, ain't got much water left. Got about 150 gallons. Alright, well, I thought I was going to get by with not having to use the last bag, but we're going to go ahead and pull it out anyways. Go ahead and take the shovel and cut it, Mike. That's good. See, when you mix bentonite, you want to mix it slowly. You don't want to just dump it in there, because it turns into a clay. So if you allow it to go in too fast, it'll turn into a big ball of stuff, and it'll all be dry in the middle. So you want to pour it slowly. All right, well, this is gonna be it. Come on, baby, get thick. Yeah, she's settling good. If you notice, a little bit of water came out. I always try to flush a little bit of water in the line between my mixes. That way, if you don't flush water through it, it'll end up plugging up your pipe, and then it'll blow up on your big hose. So you always flush about 15 seconds of water in between your mixes to where it doesn't plug it up. It's down there about 2 foot, maybe 2.5 foot, but it was there the time before that and the time before that. So she's settling. Either way, we're out of grout. We'll have to come back here, I don't know, in about 5 days, 4 days. We'll probably come here Monday, and we'll bring some more with us. It's only about 2.5 foot down.
Okay.
But it was the batch before that too, so she's settling.
Right.
It's just because of all the stuff we got out here.
Yeah. Got any more bags?
Nope, that's it. That's the last one.
Cool.
Well, we are all done. Headed back to the office. I'm tired and I'm cold. It's 5 o'clock. We got the grout more or less come to the surface, but regardless, we were out of water and we were out of bags of grout. So when we go back to put in the pump system in a few days, we always bring bags of chip bentonite with us, and we'll bring it back up to the surface at that point. But yeah, the old well had 17 foot of casing in it, and I think it was 70 something foot, who knows. Can't really remember at this point. It's mind-boggling that we didn't hit competent rock until about 100 foot. Like, we ran into some sedimentary rock around 80, and then we kept drilling, and it never really showed us like beautiful blue gray granite. Well, then around a little bit past 110 foot, we started running into quartz. Well, the quartz is always very, very hard, and it likes to bind up the bit. But one cool thing about quartz is there's typically water found in quartz if you're lucky. So we ended up originally we set like 114 foot of casing, and then when we stuck our 6-inch bit inside and we started drilling, the 6-inch bit blew out large portions of the quartz below the casing. So what ends up happening is the casing falls like 4 or 5 or 6 foot. It basically falls the distance of the metal pipe that we stick down there until it finds that coupling where we conjoin the metal pipe and the plastic pipe, because it's a larger diameter. Well, once that coupling meets that spot that started to blow out, that's where the casing stops falling. So what we do at that point, we just get another piece off the truck, and it doesn't fall very far. You know, we can see it down the hole. So we just add that, we take out a tape measure, figure out how much we need. And what we did, I think we added 3 foot, and then we added, I think, another 4 or 5 foot or something like that. I really can't remember while I'm driving down the road. It all happens so frequently for us. But yeah, so it ended up turning out to be an excellent well. I mean, that water coming off that well was absolutely gorgeous. And the water coming out of his old well looked like tomato soup, which was kind of crazy. Yeah, so, you know, his well got hit by lightning, and it ended up burning out the pump. So then, you know, that's why I went back there to replace the pump, and I saw that the water was red again when all that happened. So it's been like an 8-month process for him to get a permit to drill a well. The only person who was writing permits in this county had retired, and she was working 3 of these counties. So it took him quite a while to get a well permit just for us to drill him a well, which is kind of sad. Like, I wanted to drill his well back towards the end of summer, and it's taken us this long to follow the rules and, you know, abide by the law. It's a shame that he had to live with the water like that for so long. You know, we tried everything we could. When we originally put the liner in, it fixed it. You know, he had clear water for a few months. It's just strange. Another crazy thing is, while we were drilling this job, drilling this well, one of our other local well drillers stopped by. One of the guys that I have fracked for in one of my past videos. Him and his son stopped by, and they were talking about how they had fracked a well and they had blew up a packer, and we were just, you know, shooting shit and whatnot. And he said, yeah, I had come and worked on this house about 10 years ago. They had really bad muddy water. And I'm like, yeah, that's why we're here drilling them a well. So I knew from the very get-go, no matter what we did here, and I had told Dad, I said, if we set casing and we get bad water, I said, we're pulling that casing out and we're going to set deeper casing. You know, we're not going to set 65 foot of casing and then hit brown water at 80 foot and think we're going to line it. No, we're going to pull it out. We're going to keep drilling, whatnot. But it didn't go that way. It didn't go that way. We were all surprised. The other well, I figured we'd probably encounter rock pretty early, 20, 25 foot, and we would just drill really deep. I figured since the other well was 79 foot, I was going to set 79 foot of casing. That was really what I thought. But, yeah, Mother Nature had other ideas. We ended up setting 6 times more casing than the other well originally had casing, and we almost set double casing depth of the other well's entirety. So, you know, we were roughly 117 foot, and the other well is only like 75 foot deep. So that's kind of crazy. But I don't know. I don't know how that other well even makes water. I don't know how it's not collapsed. I don't know, because we were in red mud all the way till 80 foot. Like, and y'all saw what that red mud looked like. It was gross. It was nasty. It was sketchy to deal with. Red mud like that, you have to add a boatload of water, and you have to get it to come up to where it doesn't plug up. Because if anybody knows what Virginia red clay is, that stuff will be, you know, you call it suction cup mud. You stick your boot in it and your boot comes off. Well, the same thing happens with a drilling rig if you're not adding enough water. So you got to worry about stuff like that. But overall, it was a good day. It was a good day. But I'm going to quit talking. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to eat dinner. I've only eaten like half of my lunch. But thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all on the next one.